Someone was asking me how she can be more of a detached person. And that's quite ironic, because you can't become a detached person. You are detaching from the person. That's what happens, is the more detached you are from the person, which is really a mixture of thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions, that by detaching yourself from the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, the perceptions, you start experiencing what feels like a freedom from them. You start feeling a gap, that what you actually are is absolutely free from the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, the perceptions. So you start feeling unattached to who you think you are. And as soon as you become unattached to who you think you are, you appear to be a detached person. Now, what you're really getting at by saying a detached person is one who's not affected by the circumstances of life. Being a detached person, what you're pointing at is someone who's not attached to like worldly pleasures, materialism, fame, fortune, relationships, jobs, careers, the ups and downs of life. Now, that doesn't mean that you become like some zombie that's like emotionless. That's not what it means. No, you still feel emotions. You're just not enslaved by these circumstances. Why? Because you're realizing that you are free from the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, perceptions. Now, what are the thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, and perceptions? Well, together they form the mind, body, world. So the person is what we would call the mind body. So by realizing your freedom right now, that you are actually already free from the thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions, realizing that inherent freedom, that total freedom, you naturally become detached from all three: mind, body, world, which then appears, relatively speaking, as a detached person, It might just look like you're cool and calm, that you're peaceful, that you are stable, that you're balanced, that you are anchored, grounded. You will be emanating this energy field that others will just notice. That will feel like, yeah, there's a sense of stability. That person's stable. Here's a room full of people that are getting sick on the roller coaster of life, but this one, they're not riding that roller coaster. Some situation unfolds in the family or at work, seems to come out of nowhere and knock everyone off balance. But the detached person, they remain balanced. It just kind of looks to others like you're not freaking out. That you're just not participating in a lot of this kind of neurotic behavior. You're not stressed out. You're very chill. So when everyone's stressing out, you're just chilling. But it's because you are, one, you've realized your true nature, that you are unchanging. It's realizing that you are unchanging, that then you express that stability, that you are the stillness, that you express that stillness as being balanced, that which is unchanging and still, then expresses itself as balance in everyday life and stability in everyday life. Without that recognition that you are still, that you are unmoving, that you are unchanging, that you are permanent, you can't be an expression of stability or balance. You won't know what balance is. You won't know what stillness is. You won't know what stability is. You won't have that sense of what it is. You won't experience stability and balance without realizing what you are. So there's that initial recognition, and then there's living as that. Living as that permanence, that unchanging reality, is that still point. So then you appear as a stable person, a balanced person, a detached person, someone that's not freaking out about the ups and downs of life. And to many, this goes unnoticed. To many people, this goes unnoticed. But you may find that there's maybe a colleague in your office, your workplace, maybe an aunt or an uncle that seems to be picking up some of this, that might just kind of feel like there's something a little different about this guy or this girl, this one. And it might inspire them to want to be more calm like that. Like I said, you start emanating that peace. And to those that are receptive, those who can sense it, it has an inspiring effect. It inspires them. They just kind of feel like, maybe I should see what this meditation is all about, or maybe I should look within myself. Maybe I should become less reactive in some way. Some way like that, it will just like stimulate or inspire one to essentially look at themselves, to become aware of that. They'll do a little comparison to say, I want to be more like that one. And to one that's living as our true nature, when someone else says, I want to be more like him or her, and they're kind of pointing at the one that's realized, what they're saying is, I want to be myself. That they're recognizing that what they are seeing in you is actually their true self. And that feeling of wanting to be more like that one, or wanting to become more like that person, is really, it's like an inner calling. It's not coming from a being bigger and better, that you want to emulate this person to get more fame or fortune. It's coming from a different place. It's what would be felt as more of an inner calling. That sure, you see it externally, that this person is very calm and peaceful, non-reactive or less reactive. But there's a part of you that your heart is calling you. It's getting you to go within. It's very much an invitation to come back to your true nature. It's very similar to actually when you are around like a baby or like a toddler. You feel the same way. That there's something that is inspiring about just being around a playful child or a baby. It's that innocence. It's that wonder. It's that beauty. That you just experience yourself. That's very inspiring. It has this nostalgic feeling to it that kind of takes you back. But what you're taken back to is actually your true nature. That you're sensing your true nature being expressed without this filter of conditioning that gets added on after. So the feeling could be, I just want to be a little bit more lighthearted, or more playful. You might feel just want to experience that magic that I'm not experiencing, that it was here when I was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it's no longer magical. It's very dull, mechanical. That what was once magical is now mechanical. What was once wonderful is boring. So you kind of feel like, I want to get back there. I want to be more like that. Of course, if you're open to it, if you're receptive to this. Otherwise, most people just see a baby or they'll see a child and, yeah, well, that's good because they don't have bills to pay, or just kind of, good for them, and think nothing of it. And it won't spark anything in them. But to one that's more open, it inspires that there's something that is touched, that being around a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, just any kid, that's just simply being themselves. There's this feeling that it's so natural, it's so effortless, it's so innocent, it's so me. It feels very familiar, that you start sensing something, but you're sensing it within yourself. You're seeing it externally, but you're feeling something internally. And if it could say something, it would say something like, I used to be like that. And I want to experience myself as that again. But sometimes it feels like, not sometimes, it's going to be most of the time, it feels like you are stuck. Like you can't get back there, that feels distant. It feels like, how could I do that now that I'm a father and I've got 3 kids, or I'm a CEO of this company, or I'm working 2 jobs, or I'm in a financial crisis. Nobody's got time to just color, do finger painting, play with chalk on the driveway, get dirty, roll around, play Lego. No one's got time for that. So kind of feel like you're stuck in what feels like what has become your life, like a situation. You'll just feel like you're stuck in a situation, but you'll feel like how do I get back to that? You will feel very disconnected with what feels like an inner child, this childlike nature, which is just another way of saying your true nature, because your true nature is very childlike. It's full of wonder, awe. And you used to experience that wonder and that awe. Prior to all the conditioning. And that conditioning is what you are calling your situation. It's a conditional situation. And that experience of that conditioning, seen objectively, kind of looks like prison walls, prison bars. It's conditioning. that all this conditioning has been added to you. And it's what appears as this conditional situation that you're calling your life. But it's deeper than that, because it's actually your identity. That prior to this identity that you've built up, this identity that you believe to be, you were just like that child. The reality is that you still are. There's no difference between what you are and that child. It's more so that you have forgotten that. You are ignoring your childlike nature, and you're only paying attention to this identity that is a construct of conditionings. Now, if you're lucky, you come across these type of videos. If you're starting to feel that calling to come back to that inner child, that childlike nature, to experience the magic of life, the wonder, then you stumble on these type of videos, which is helping you to see that conditioning and see that you are not the conditioning. That you are the awareness that's aware of that conditioning. That who you think you are is not the real you. And it just simply points to that which is prior to all of that conditioning. And that which is prior to all the conditioning is that childlike nature. It's your true self. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.